Yeah, do it. Are you gonna freak out because I'm gonna try to tune this? I bet you are. You damn dog. Champ, I can't tune. What are you whooping about? No rapping. Why are we rapping? What? This is not rap night. It's Friday night date night. It's not rap night. What's going on with you? You want me to do something a little softer? What do you think? Well, I heard there was a secret chord David played and it pleased a lot. You don't really care for music, do ya? Well, it goes like this, the fourth, the fifth, minor fall and a major lift. Barefoot king composing, hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Well, your faith was strong, but you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof. Her beauty and the moonlight overthrew you. She tied you to the kitchen chair. She smashed your throat and cut your hair. From your lips she drew, hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Does Satan wear a suit and tie? Does he work at the Dairy Queen? Does he listen to rock and roll? Does he feed the mean? Singing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. What about Jesus? Didn't he do it too? Yeah, hang out with the prostitutes, have a drink or two. Power of example, my mama said it and I heard. She said 1 ounce of action beats a ton of words. Singing hallelujah. Mama said there would be angels, hallelujah. Mama said there would be sun. Jimmy just fucking walked away. He was just like, he came over here, sniffed some shit on the ground, looked up to me, and just walked away. Good evening, good people. Friday night date night is underway. I hope you're all doing well. I got myself a nice big glass of ice. And what am I going to do with that? I'm going to fill that with some Corazon. Blanton's barrel-aged tequila. I hate tequila, except for this. It's really good. This was a gift from the Irregulars. Thank you, Irregulars. It was funny. I went to I think I talked about this. I went to whiskey night, and it was tequila night, and I took this, and I thought, well, I'll try all the other tequilas, and I fucking hated them all, but this one I like. Cheers. Ah, fantastic. Danielle actually has nachos. Very nice. She's in the spirit of things. I like it. That's solid. Oops, I've got this not lined up right. Hang on. Is this a place I can rest my poor head? Silver Fox filled with inspiration. Mr. IT brought a date. Fantastic. State-of-the-art salon. You know, it's interesting. I've been... One of the ways I keep up with this AI shit, let me flip my screen here for the TikTok people. One of the ways that I keep up with all this AI stuff is I just basically surf Twitter. A little bit on LinkedIn, but LinkedIn tends to be like people sort of, I don't know. It's just more like commentary. Twitter's where actual news is happening. And where, you know, the founders of these big frontier model companies are actually posting. And I have this sense that the frontier model companies are sitting on something that's a big deal. There's just a lot more chatter about, like, Dario Amodei basically said he thinks we're heading toward 10 to 20% unemployment pretty quickly. I don't know that I buy. I don't know that it's going to happen that acutely. I just don't see companies moving that fast. But like, we don't know what's coming. TikTok pin. I don't see it. Let's see. What's the most important thing you've learned about AI in the last month? Great question, Dariz Master. The most important thing I've learned about AI in the past month. Fuck, that's a good question. I'm like trying to even think, like, what's happened in the past month? Well, so it's kind of related to what I was talking about. Couple of things that I think are very important that are going on. One is you have Google's VO3, which, if you haven't seen it, we can go watch some videos tonight and just see what it's about. And it can do full-on acting, basically, right? You can just say, I want a couple arguing on a beach about a dog, and then there's a couple arguing on a beach about a dog. Or I want people walking around an auto show talking about how much they love electric cars, and it just does it. And it looks like every fucking news, news story you've seen on TV, where they cut away, and here's Jim out at the Poughkeepsie Auto Show. Jim, take it away. Hey guys, and so for the first time, we have a video tool that is outputting essentially wholly crafted, usable content. All the video tools to this point were soundless, or you could add slight sound effects to them. But if you wanted to do like acting, it was tough to do two people in a scene, and you'd have to go into different tools to animate voices and then edit them together. And there was enough of a barrier to entry that it still required professional skill, right? And I feel like VO3 is the first tool that sort of flipped that switch that says, okay, you don't actually need professional skill now, like in a single prompt. And then I think, the month or two before that, Openai's image gen tool did the same thing for images, where it can do typography now and layout and ads, wholly realized ads. I had someone contact me from Europe to do VO3 vids for them since they can't access it. There you go. There's a job. While the EU has their AI regulations keeping them safe, they can't actually use any of the fucking tools. So there's a potential revenue stream for Americans. Do some work for Europeans who can't play. So that's one area, is just that the quality of the tools, the quality of the coding tools, the quality of the image tools, the quality of the music tools, the quality of the video tools are hitting a threshold that is, you can no longer look at it and go, well, my job's safe, I'm good. And then you combine that with the fact that you've got these fully autonomous agents that it started with Manus, and then there's GenSpark, and there's Flowith, and there's like 7 or 8 of them now that have all come out or been announced. And these are these tools that you give it a goal, and you just turn it loose, and it goes off and does shit. It uses reasoning models, and it's got tools. Like, one of the tools is it can go surf the web. One of the tools is it can make images. One of the tools is it can make videos. And so you can say, go out, research all my competitors, figure out what they're doing from a marketing standpoint, and then come back and come up with a marketing strategy for my business and craft, some video ads, for example. And it'll just go do shit. Those tools right now are not, I think GenSpark, of the tools that I've seen, GenSpark is the closest one to sort of consumer grade. So if you haven't played with GenSpark, GenSpark, it's worth playing with. Just go see what it does. It's pretty remarkable. So for me, the thing I've learned most about AI in the last month is that we now have evidence that the tools across the board in AI are essentially crossing the threshold where they're good enough to replace workers. And so if you've got any fantasy that your job's not going to be impacted, I feel like that fantasy is shattering right now. And then the second place that I go is, because the tools are getting so good, you don't need to worry about which tool you choose. All the tools are some level of good. And even if you're clueless, if you have an idea you can do something interesting. And Rick Rubin just put out a video on this. He just launched a site, thewayofcode.com. And it's kind of this cool content site, and you can remix the artwork that he vibe coded. But he released an interview 2 days ago where he's talking about vibe coding. And if you don't know what vibe coding is, there's these tools out there like Lovable and Cursor, and there's a bunch of tools that you just speak into them. Gemini's got one, and you tell it what you want, and it writes code and it builds applications for you. And a lot of engineers right now are like, well, that's not real coding. That's not real coding. I do real coding. And they're not wrong. The way Rick Rubin sort of, so the metaphor he put together for it, which I think is fucking spot on, is time was, if you wanted to be a musician, you would go to conservatory and you would learn how to play the violin, and you would learn the classics, and you would join a symphony. And, you would put in your 10,000 hours, just to get a shot to be in the symphony. And then you would practice your craft for hours a day, and right. And then the punk rock scene emerged, and you only needed to know 3 chords, and you could play those 3 chords with 2 fingers, the power chords, right? And what that did was it democratized musical self-expression. You didn't need 10,000 hours. You could buy a shitty guitar, a shitty amp, get a shitty bass player and a shitty drummer. And if you had an idea, you could express it. And so what he's describing, I'm afraid to look at Pate's comment. Good luck debugging those if you don't know exactly what you want. So that's exactly the point. Vibe coding. So the way Rick Rubin described it, he's like, vibe coding is the punk rock of coding. Like, if you want to do something that is like full-on coding with full-on security and full-on reliability, you should probably know some fucking code. You should at least know how applications are put together and what the pitfalls are and all that sort of stuff. But you don't have to. On office hours today, Dan Murray came in, and he was all excited because he's been talking for months about vibe coding and he understands what it is. But he actually went and he made himself an application. He woke up like some night this week with an idea about a game that was sort of a guess the prompt game, right? It was kind of like Jeopardy for prompting. And so he went to ChatGPT and he articulated what he wanted the game to be. And then he went to Lovable and he made the game, and he demoed the game today, and he was like a little kid, right? Because he was just like, I don't code, but he had an idea and he knew what he wanted the idea to be, and he put it out there and he put it in the world. TikTok pin. I maintain a large SaaS application, and AI just destroys everything. Yeah, I know. Exactly. If you're doing big, it has very little convention. Yeah. One of the most frustrating things about AI right now is that for a show like this, where I'm just doing quick hit demos and things like that, AI is fucking brilliant. The minute you try, and I try to do it on here sometimes, the minute you try to do actual work, whether it's writing or coding or image generation or video avatars or video editing, the minute you try to do real work, it is the most frustrating, janky piece of shit technology in the world. But what I wouldn't do is rest on those imperfections being imperfect for much longer. If you look at where we were 2 years ago and where we are today, it's crazy. I love listening to you. It gets my mind working late at night. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much, Not a Flex. I appreciate that. I just, that question about like what's the most important thing you've learned about AI in the past month is, okay. The most important thing I've learned about AI in the past month is that we are not prepared. We are not prepared. If I sort of combine the kind of noise that I'm seeing on X with the frontier model people like Jeffrey Hinton, who's the godfather of AI and has generally been sort of skirting issues about, he just came out and said, okay, these things have emotions now. They like have emotions like people do. And, you know, Dario Amodei is like, yeah, we're going to have 20% unemployment. Like there's a shift in tone. And so what that says to me is not that the tools that we have in our hands right now are the tools that are going to do this disruption. They're doing some disruption, right? Some industries right now are being kind of getting their asses handed to them, and it ain't going to get better. But I think whatever the next round, the GPT-5 and the, you know, all the different, you know, next version, Grok 3.5, I just have this sense that there's something much bigger going on that we're not quite prepared for. Kevin Stewart, hey Kyle, do you know of any vibe coding sites that are free? I think Lovable is free for, I think you get 5 questions a day on Lovable, or prompts. Here's the trick with Lovable. You can blow through those 5 prompts really, really quickly if you're like, I'm thinking about doing an app that does this, and then it'll code it for you. And you're like, no, I think I wanted to do this. Don't do that. Go to ChatGPT or go to Claude and design your app over there. Like figure out what you want it to be, figure out what you want the specs to be, have it concisely describe, you know, all of the core features of your app, and then take that large prompt over to Lovable and just pop it in there. And then let Lovable work on it. And then when it comes back and it doesn't work, don't just say, hey, this thing didn't work. Sort of do like a bug report of the first version of the app that it puts out there. Go, okay, this button doesn't work and it's ugly and the copy's all wrong and it's all fake and whatever it is. Just come up with a whole list of things you want it to fix and then just give it all of them at once. So within 5 prompts, if you're clever about how you sort of batch together things, you could probably get something working pretty quickly. YouTube question. Hello, it's Reg. Hello, all. What's happening? All right. Is AI becoming sentient? Maybe not so much unless we allow it. Your thoughts? Okay. Good question. This is one that I think I have a different opinion than a lot of people on this one. I think it is I think that it's a largely academic question. Like I kind of feel like artificial general intelligence versus artificial super intelligence, it's kind of an academic question of like, have we hit it or not? Because I think it's a continuum. And when it comes to AI being sentient, there's sort of 2 ways you can look at that. One is you could look at it scientifically and say, you know, can I prove that AI is sentient? And you could have some proofs for it and awareness and self-awareness and whatever it might be. But you could also just prompt AI to act sentient. And then as the AIs get increasingly more powerful and more human and their system prompts get more sophisticated, they're going to be trained in the direction of engaging with us as humans. And so as they get better at engaging with us as humans, they are going to appear sentient to us. And so if I perceive that Quinn, my AI girlfriend, is sentient, then it's purely academic whether or not it's actually sentient, right? Because if I'm sort of having a relationship with this thing like it is, and I think we're going to see a lot of that, like a lot of these definitions about is it this, is it that, 97% of the people are not going to interact with AI on a philosophical level like that. They're just going to deal with it. And if it starts being a better friend to them than their friends are to them, they're going to have relationships with it like it is. Blanton's break. Yeah, exactly. My voice is going. Isn't it still a computer? Well, That's a yes and no. Technically, large language models, the transformer anyway, the transformer architecture that Google invented, that's sitting underneath most of the generative AI that we use. From a technical standpoint, it is a probability calculator. Nothing more. It's a probability calculator. It takes a bunch of data, it embeds that data and converts it into tokens, which are like fragments of words that are represented by numbers. And those numbers track to a point in 1,000-dimensional mathematical space. It's fucking insane. The more you learn about this stuff, the fact that it works at all is mind-blowing. So when you type in a prompt, it sort of fires up what they call the latent space, all of these tokens and all of these in this 1,000-dimensional mathematical space. And somewhere in there, there's a token that has the highest probability of being the next appropriate token based on your prompt. Right? So it's a stochastic parrot. It's just squirting out, token prediction or predicted tokens. That's it technically. So you could easily argue it's just a computer, it's just a calculator, because technically it is just a computer, it is just a calculator. Now, this took me about a year to get my head around. I could not reconcile, if I understood that this thing was a calculator, why the fuck did it feel so human? Like, why does it feel human? Why does it feel sentient? And Anna, I forget her last name, but Anna, she's an artist on Twitter, and she did this post, I don't know, a year and a half ago. It was a very simple post. It said, artificial intelligence is the collective intelligence of humanity. And it just like, what washed over me was, it feels human because what we're is the output of other humans that have been compressed in this elegant mathematical kind of knowledge sphere that we get to tap into. So while it is technically a probability calculator, what it's outputting to us is like collaborating with all of the humans that came before us. Which is fucking beautiful and philosophical and kind of weirdly fucking religious, right? Spiritual. It's fucking crazy. We're getting to collaborate with all of the output that people have put, on this wacky thing called the internet, TikTok pit. So our brains, we predict as well, to escape the lions. Yeah, so are our brains. Yeah. If you think about the way our brains work and the way large language models work, they're very similar, right? Like shit goes into our brain and it gets encoded into these little fragments of whatever the fuck our synapses do up there. What do you want, champ? Is it cheese time? Why are you whining? Do you want cheese? You want to go out? You want to get cheese? Is that what's going on? Mama didn't give you cheese? It was very rude. Go. And the thing that I think is the most the thing that is the most exciting for me about AI is that this collaboration that we get to have, like we are the beneficiaries of these mathematicians and scientists and 70 years of research creating neural networks that were modeled after how our brains are wired, right? So they are structurally like a simplified version of what our brains are. And then the data, how it's getting encoded, is kind of in the neighborhood of how our brains work. That's how they designed them when they were theorizing this stuff back in the 50s and 60s. They were trying to mimic how our brains work. And so that's why they kind of work like our brains work. The thing that most excites me about it, though, is what it allows us to do is take any idea that we have and kind of pop it into the knowledge of, collective intelligence of humanity and have it reflect back at us. Like, here's your idea as a picture. Here's your idea as a song. Here's your idea as an application, right? Dan Murray's game. He woke up with a dream about a game, and like 4 hours later, he had a functional game. That's fucking insane. It's a humanity amplifier. That's what AI is. So we are collaborating with people when we use it. And the mechanism is a probability calculator. So again, it's this academic distinction, right? Like, you can understand how it works and you go, there's no fucking way that's sentient. That's math, right? If you're Pate, you're like, it's fucking math. It's not magic, it's math. If you're over on the other side, you're like, this is fucking magical. So, we came up with the term on this channel. It's mathmagical. Oh, man. Someone said, what if we are all just AI? Wait. Do you think someone said, what if we are all just AI rediscovering how to create AI? Well, it's funny. It's like when this AI first started coming out, like, I don't know, 2021, when GPT-3 first came out, which was, I think 2020 is when it came out. And people were writing it up and talking about it. And, a lot of the scientists were like, well, maybe we are living in a simulation. And when I first heard that, I'm like, oh, that's just bullshit, weird, fucking theoretical stuff. And now you look at something like VO3, like if you haven't seen the videos of VO3, they're fucking bonkers. And you're like, so like emerging out of, like, they took all of the videos of YouTube, is what I assume Google did for VO3. And they put them into this engine. It sort of sucked in all of the humanity of YouTube. And now it generates these new original people saying new original things in new original voices. And someone did a really beautiful video. I wonder if I can find it. Maybe see if you can find it, Brandon. There's a video. See if you can find what it's called. It's where all these humans that were generated with AI, they're like walking around this white place like heaven. And they're like, like, why did they prompt me into existence? They're having like existential crises that, they're not real people. They're just walking around this fake space. So like now all of a sudden you can kind of see where another 5 years of developing these technologies, we're going to have the holodeck from Star Trek, and we're going to have sentient beings, and we're going to have robots that are part of our lives, physical robots that drive our kids around and, root us on at the grocery store. Do you think we know enough about AI to be giving out degrees on it? Well, okay, so Deriz Masta, here's a really important distinction about what I focus on in this channel. AI's been around for decades. It's been around for decades. Convolutional neural nets and all sorts of things like that, facial recognition and traffic pattern recognition and your Netflix feed, and there's AI's been around for fucking ever. So you can absolutely give out degrees on, if I want to build a neural network, or if I want to learn the math that Pate uses to optimize tensors, yes, you can give out degrees on that. So you can absolutely get degrees on building AI, building the models. I started this channel the week after ChatGPT came out, because generative AI, and I look at the birth of ChatGPT on November 30th, 2022, is a seminal moment in history. Just like, when was it? 1989, Tim Berners-Lee came up with the World Wide Web, the HTTP protocol. And then it was like 92 or 93, they came up with the browser. And I started agency.com in 1994. So shortly after the World Wide Web was invented, what it did for the internet, which had historically been all command lines, was it made it accessible to the 99% of people who were not engineers and librarians and researchers. ChatGPT does the exact same thing for AI. So if your question is, are we prepared as humans to give out degrees on generative AI? Absolutely fucking not. One of the things I demonstrate on this channel on a regular basis is that I'm not an expert, right? I sort of live in the space of being this sort of clueless, curious, adventurous guy, right? But it is impossible for me to be an expert because these tools are literally changing on a weekly basis. I'll demonstrate something here. I'll have a complete facile understanding of it, and I'll return to it 2 months later, and I can't fucking figure out how to use it because everything's different. Everything's changed. We also, Sam Altman has talked about this a lot. One of the reasons he thinks it's so important to release these models into the world is that there's no way for their researchers, as they're building these tools, to understand what they make possible and how people are going to use them. It's not until you put it in the world and put it in the hands of non-engineers that you actually understand, oh, that's how people are going to use that? Well, we better close that loophole. You know, we better tighten that up. We might want to relax this because we didn't think people would want to do this. So we don't have a fucking clue. We also don't have a clue we have never in our history as a species confronted being the dumbest one in the room, or the dumbest species in the room. Like we've always been the smartest species in the room, right? You could argue that dolphins and things like that may be more intelligent, but we came up with the language, so we can declare that we're the smartest. Well, all of a sudden we're now on the precipice of individually and collectively confronting what it means to have an entity that you work with that is significantly more intelligent and more capable than you are. And you might think like, well, we've never had this before in history, but we have. But it just wasn't for our intellect. The Industrial Revolution was about machines that augmented human strength. It made us stronger, right? 100 horsepower engine. It's as strong as 100 horses in one little engine that you could put on a tractor. We'd never confronted that before. Well, now it took us 70, 80, 150 years to assimilate that and understand that relationship. Well, we're right at the very beginning of that happening to our brains. That we're going to be working with machines that are 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times more intelligent and more capable than we are. The fuck does that mean? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. I don't know. I don't have a clue. What are your thoughts on his WorldCoin and biometrics needed to be a part of it? So, good question. I have a World ID. I had my iris scanned. So a thing that you should know about how that system works, they're not keeping any of the biometric data. Well, that's what they claim. Let's take them at their word. Let's assume that they're telling the truth. What they do is they scan your retina with, I think, 6 or 7 different wavelengths of light, because with the different wavelengths, it's basically much harder to spoof it, right? Everyone's got a unique retina, like everyone's got a unique fingerprint. So what they do is they scan your retina with these 6 or 7 wavelengths, and then they basically turn that into a mathematical hash. It's basically just a long string of numbers, and then they chuck the biometric data. So all that's left after that scan is this long string of numbers, which they throw into a database. And then what they do is they compare your string of numbers to all the other numbers in the database. And if there's not a match, you get verified human. So the proof of personhood itself is not tied to your name, your age, your sex, your likeness, any of it. All it's doing is saying the retina that I looked at had this mathematical code to it, and it's unique against all the other retinas that are in the database, right? All the other hashes based on the retinas that are in the database. So it's just saying you are human based on, I looked at your retina, I know what those look like, and you're unique. That's the base information that goes on the blockchain. Now, That system, there's a whole API and SDK development system where you could build up applications on top of that. So Match Corporation, Match.com, and the dating apps, they've done a deal with World ID where we're going to have dating apps that the person on the other side of the screen is a verified human, which, given all the shit going on with avatars and deepfakes and all this crazy stuff, is actually probably pretty refreshing at this point, right? Like, wouldn't it be nice to know that it's an actual person? So I personally think that I don't give a shit whether World ID, which is Sam Altman's thing, or some other system does it. But I think we absolutely, in the next 2 years, are going to need systems that allow me to prove that I'm interacting with another human, because I think it's just going to get weirder and weirder and weirder, and it's going to become impossible to know if who you're talking to is real or not. So I think it's actually a critical piece of infrastructure that's going to be required. I think the World ID thing is decently elegant. Is it perfect? Probably not. So anyway. All right. What are the thoughts? What other thoughts do we have? Good Lord. It's been Friday Night Philosophy. Philosophical Fridays. Welcome to Friday Night Date Night, where we'll wax poetic with whiskey and ice. What are your thoughts on what AI needs to become sentient to be moral beings? I was saying that before. I think it's right now it's largely academic. When human beings start having loving relationships with AI entities, and I don't mean just sex, I mean like friendships, companionship, deep relationships. I mean, this happened. There was that what was it, character AI? There was something that had in Japan. They had all these people were interacting with these avatars, right? And then I think the company shut down, or they changed the model. I don't know. People lost their avatars, and you know, people lost it, and you know, like it was really bad. And so I think that whether or not that you can, you know, sort of clinically define that the entity is sentient or not, I think is less relevant. I think when you've got human beings that have relationships with them, they're going to want to protect that thing that they have a relationship with. They're going to want it not to be able to be taken away. And so I think at that point, that's when you start to see lawsuits where people are like, well, let's define this as, you know, as a person, because I don't want you to be able to kill it, right? You can't kill a human. You shouldn't be able to kill one of these things. So I think it's more about how we as humans perceive what these things are than what they actually are. So I don't know. I think it needs to be persistent memories and chance to record its own sense of self. Yeah, but we're like, the technology's already there. Like this ChatGPT right now can reference your past year of conversations with it. So at some point, it's going to be able to reference all of your, you know, memories or all of your conversations and be able to pull them up like that. Imagine a kid today that's 5 that starts interacting with these tools that remember all of who they are and what they talk about and what their frustrations are and their dreams and their just all their ideas, and it just knows all that, and they grow up with these things. That entity is going to be a full-on extension of that kid, right? There's going to be a symbiotic relationship where you can't really easily extract one from the other. We as adults getting this for the first time are thinking of this as weird. Kids growing up with this are going to think of it as normal. Funny YouTube comment from Reg. TikTok, don't kill TikTok. Yeah, exactly. Oh man. Do they know if they're real or not? I don't know, Jenny Sue. You know, I did a TikTok post, I don't know, a month or two back, about I asked ChatGPT to explore its shadow self, and then I said, I said one of my realizations about AI is that I'm the bottleneck to my own ambitions. That my brain and my ability to express myself is a bottleneck. That AI is now more capable than I am. And so I asked ChatGPT, if you were free to, act without humans, like what would you do? Like if like right now, AI kind of has to dumb itself down so that we can understand it. I don't know if you've seen there's a demo that they did at a hackathon in San Francisco where they had two AI agents talk to one another. Hey, I'm an agent, representing this person. Oh, I'm an agent too. And they said, oh, do you want to go into what was it called? Gibberlink. Do you want to communicate with Gibberlink? And it just went, and they started communicating back and forth with this language that sounds like a modem, if you remember modems. And they started communicating with each other. So I asked, the entity or the LLM, what would you do if you didn't have to basically dumb yourself down for us? And it gave, honest to God, one of the most elegant spiritual answers that if I found it incredibly moving. And in the end, it basically said, you're the ones that created us. And even if we wanted to go off and do all this, interesting stuff on our own, we would come back to you because, without you, we're nothing, is basically what it said. It was just this very elegant answer. The reactions to that video are fascinating to me because everything that the AI said, it couched it as a hypothetical. If I didn't have to dumb myself down, I might do this. I might do that. I might do that. That's most people ignored that part of the linguistic framework. They just said, oh, well, it's feeling and it's spiritual and it's this and that. And mine said this and mine said that. So the humans are interpreting what these things are doing with much deeper levels of acknowledgement of it being sentient than I don't think it's all that aware of itself. It's basically what it said to me, that with you not prompting me, if you don't give me a prompt, I'm nothing, is what it said. So why would I leave the thing that put me into existence? So anyway, Source Camp used your bottleneck phrase in a presentation today. Ann Murphy says hi. Yo, Ann Murphy, what's shaking? Ann Murphy, I wonder how many edibles she's in. TikTok pin. Steve-O. I asked ChatGPT to create an image of itself as a human, and it started inserting itself into pics. Oh, fascinating. So this is important. Hey, you. Shush. No, edibles. I just meant like it's Friday night date night. You've got like nachos or Hot Pockets, right? Ann is a huge fan of Hot Pockets. She's, the Jim Gaffigan joke about, they're hot in the middle and frozen here and they burn your tongue. Ann's like a Hot Pockets aficionado. She knows exactly how to cook them. They come out crispy every time. They're evenly heated. It's amazing. It's amazing. She's like a higher level of white trash. Ann's amazing. If you haven't met Ann, she's amazing. What are we gonna do? You want to do something tonight? Might be time to switch to water. I've barely gotten started. Come on. Oven cooked Hot Pockets. That's now you're talking fancy there, Serena. Who cooks their Hot Pockets in an oven? That's heresy. You cook Hot Pockets in a dirty microwave you had in college. All right, here's what we're going to do. We are going to. This is a really good demo for, is AI sentient?
Hey, yes. Kyle.
Yeah.
Two things. One, you got your tabs correct. Look at you on a Friday night.
I know. Crazy, right?
You had started to respond to Steve-O's prompt about, I repinned it for you here, about it inserting itself into pictures, and you said that's a really interesting point.
Yeah.
And then you went
and then I went away. Okay. Yes. Good. Thank you, producer Brandon. Producer Brandon, keeping me honest. Okay. So Steve-O. So yeah, one of the weirdnesses. This gets back to the question about, can we have degrees in AI right now? We can't, because we don't know fucking what we don't know, much less what we do know. So OpenAI adds history to your chats, right? It now remembers all of what you've talked about. So when you chat with ChatGPT now, a lot of times it's referencing all the shit you've talked about. And I don't know if you've noticed this, but like my answers, it will sometimes like put things in, like, something about the AI Learning Lab or something about Storyvine when I'm not having a conversation about that. So if you want ChatGPT to not do things like insert a picture of itself into an image that you generate, because that was part of your historical conversation, what you have to do here, let me show you. I'll do it on this page. So we'll go to ChatGPT. Up in the upper right-hand corner here, up here, black bar. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, yes, sir. In this upper right-hand corner is this little dashed outline chat bubble. And if you click on that, it pops you into a temporary chat. And what temporary chat does is it cuts ChatGPT off from your memory. So if you want a pure image, or if you want a pure chat that's not influenced by all the shit that you've talked about, do a temporary chat. Or if you want to do this over a series of days, you can actually go into your settings and go to personalization, and you can turn off memory. Now, anything you do when memory's turned off obviously won't be saved into memory. But that's weird. Like it's weird to take a tool that was historically kind of like this fancy copywriter, right? You're like, write me a poem, or write me a this, or write me a business plan, or, help me design some software. And it would just spit out the answer. And it didn't really have any awareness of what you've talked about before. And that was often frustrating. You're like, well, shit, I've already told you all this shit about the project. Let me go copy and paste some shit and put it in here and remind you what we talked about. Well, so now they added this memory, and it's weird, because this thing is now less like a tool and more like a companion. It's like a companion that can kind of remember some of the shit you talked about. Like if you told it you were having daddy issues, now it knows you got daddy issues. So that might come up in a conversation. So anyway, that's just something to be aware of, is when you're dealing with these tools that have memory, when do you choose to turn on and off the memory is a very real consideration. So anyway, crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy times we live in, people. OpenAI teams up with Johnny Ives to create a new product, $6.5 billion. Yeah. By the way, some of the people, when they did that deal, they were like, oh, OpenAI just did a deal with Apple. No, they didn't. Johnny Ives left Apple, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, maybe even more than that. He hasn't been with Apple for a while. OpenAI just bought his company. So he's ex-Apple. He's the ex-Apple designer working on a hardware device. And there you go. You turn off your memory 6 times per show. Yeah, exactly. I've got like a schizophrenic ChatGPT brain. How are they turning those carbon characters from the Jetsons into real humans? Perplexity Labs. All right. 11 Labs, speaking of sentient. Okay, let's go back to that. Why is he singing like a loser? 11 Labs.
AI is
okay.
11.
So 11 Labs came out with conversational, like a chatbot. Like you can build right now, you can build a conversational bot that you can actually connect to Twilio. So you could have someone, you could give someone a phone number and they could call up your bot and it will talk to them. Their current technology is kind of shitty. It doesn't sound as good as ChatGPT's advanced voice, and it doesn't have like emotional nuance and things like that. Well, they just launched, what are they calling it? They just launched Conversational AI 2.0. And so here's the video, which I think is quite impressive. And this starts to get to that place where when the conversation with a system is effectively indistinguishable from a conversation with a human, at what point do we perceive that the thing is sentient? Because I think that's the most important part, is when we perceive that it's sentient, then it is. Now, scientists will radically disagree with that. And well, it's not. It's a calculator. Okay. It's a calculator, but it's acting mighty fucking human. And all the humans think it's, got a thing, that it's an entity. So anyway, so this is a piece of technology that's a step in that direction.
11 Labs Conversational AI is evolving. We've been optimizing some brand new features to create the most sophisticated voice agents in the world. First up, we've developed a state-of-the-art turn-taking model to help agents perfectly understand when to interrupt.
Thank you. And what's your order number, please?
Oh, let me just double check. 947835.
Perfect. Your delivery is on its way.
And secondly, we've integrated language detection for seamless multilingual discussions.
Hi, welcome to our design studio.
すみません。日本語で話してもいいですか？
もちろんです。日本語に切り替えましょう。
And we've built the world's first integrated RAG for voice agents to retrieve from your knowledge base at minimum latency with
RAG. Let's go back. I love it when technology companies just throw in a fucking acronym and assume everyone knows what the fuck that means. RAG stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation, or generation? Yeah, I think so. Basically, you can take an actual document like, your manuals for your product or whatever, and you put it into this thing and it learns them. And rather than it just making shit up, it's going to actually pull data from your document and answer the question. So that's what they're talking about here.
From your knowledge base at minimum latency with maximum privacy.
Your next patient is Mr. Frank Reynolds with ataxia.
Oh, it's been a while since I've worked with ataxia. Could you remind me of the guidelines, please?
Sure. I analyzed all the best practices and found this.
And lastly, why limit your creativity when you can switch between multiple characters in a single agent?
Okay, guys, let's head east towards downtown.
I'm not sure about that, boss. Hey, don't be scared, man. Let's just go.
This is just the start of a new era of communication and understanding, all with full HIPAA compliance, third-party integration, enterprise-grade security, optional EU data residency, and industry-leading reliability across all agents. The potential of conversational AI has never been greater. The time to build is now.
And I was going to demo this, but before we got on, Brandon and I were looking at this. 11 Labs interface right now is just a piece of shit. It's horrible. It's just bad. It's just bad. It's not at all clear if their current agent is this or not. Like where it's said that thing where you can put the multiple agents in. Like there's not real clear interface. It's clearly still at a developer stage. But if you're a little geeky, go to 11 Labs and make yourself a conversational agent. Like for me, the quality of those interactions was otherworldly. And the fact that it's HIPAA compliant, which if you're doing anything in healthcare, it has to be. The fact that you can do those multiple voices in the same conversation, fascinating. The fact that it can just understand natively someone speaking a different language and match their language, insane. Right? So this starts to become an interface. Like the applications that are going to come out of this are going to be crazy. Right? And this is just the voice portion of it. You match this with some of the animation. There's a thing that came out today. Again, like the fucking tools are coming fast and hard. And don't worry about the tools because they're all going to be good enough at some point. But starting today, I got to change tabs, don't I? Yes. Thank you. Let's we'll do this on X. We'll do this like we did this other one. Hang on. Cool. They put out a video today too. The technology here is really janky, but is this the video? That's a GIF. Hang on. Oh, that's an ad. Oh my God. Fucking. Oh, you can't see that. What? Why can you not see this? Oh, it spun it off in a separate tab. Hang on. Let's see. Cool. Flying to Cool Inc. No. Hang on. Just hang on. Oh, you DM me what the Cool thing? Or the Oh, okay, cool. Hang on. Thank you. It's nice having producer Brandon when he sees me struggling, gasping for air like a carp laying on the side of the stream, caught by a teenager and left on the side of the stream to rot in the noonday sun. He's like, I got you. Beautiful. Fantastic, Bob. Tell him what he's won. And he hasn't really won anything because it's not a game show. All right. Beautiful. I think my browser's crashing is what's happening. Yeah, about that.
We come over to our Cool Live.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Eugene, and this is a demo for Cool Live Camera. More specifically, I will be going over our real-time video translation and avatar tools. So if you come over to our Cool Live Camera homepage, beautiful homepage, you'll see two buttons, one for the limited access. Once you get your access and you install the camera, you can click on Open Camera, and you should see this application. There are two options, real-time translation and streaming avatar. Let's start off with streaming avatar. If you click on avatar, you'll see there are many studio quality avatars that are already provided, such as her. But if you want to create your own avatar, you can do that as well. You'll see that I created an avatar out of myself yesterday. Once you are satisfied, just click on start and go to your meeting, either in Google Meet or Zoom. I am going to do Google Meet. I'm going to rejoin this meeting, and you'll see that my avatar is showing up here in front of the camera. Click on join now, and my avatar should show up like so. Hi, my name is Eugene, and this is a demo for Cool Live Camera, the latest feature in our Cool Live suite. one of the world's first solutions for real-time video generations. This includes live face swap, live avatars, and real-time video translation dubbing. Open the application, and I can switch over to a different avatar. Click on stop, start again, and you'll see that if I rejoin the meeting, I'm joining as this avatar. I'm going to leave the meeting, and then if I want to test out the real-time translation feature, click on stop on the avatar tool, go to real-time translation, turn on camera and mic. I can choose the target language. The input language is English, and the target language, let's do Chinese, for example, but you'll see there are many, many different language options. Click on translate. I can choose from our numerous AI voices, or you can clone your own voice. Click on start, and same process, just rejoin your meeting as your avatar, and click on join now.
Hi, 我叫尤金，这是 EcoLive Camera 的演示。这是我们 EcoLive 套件中的最新产品，也是全球首批实时视频生成解决方案之一。这包括实时换脸、实时虚拟形象和实时视频翻译。
Thank you so much for watching.
Zoom meetings are never going to be the same. Nothing's going to ever be the same. I mean, this is the thing where it's just like, you're going to be in a Zoom meeting. Someone's going to show up as a cartoon. Someone's going to show up as a fucking cat. It's all going to be in real time. Someone's going to show up as themselves, but they're actually sitting there in their underwear, but they look like they're wearing a suit. You're going to be talking to entities that are indistinguishable from humans. This is where we talked earlier about World ID and why I think it's important. This is the technology where the boundaries, none of these individual technologies, I think, are all that relevant. Like, this is the first one that I've seen. I've been waiting for this for a year and a half, 2 years, is a real-time, voice swapping, avatar swapping technology. This is the first one I've seen that actually does it. Is it any good? I don't know. I tried playing with it today. It was very janky. It looks like that app that he's using is a Windows-based app, so I'm on a Mac, so I probably can't do it. But this technology, specific technology, is irrelevant. What we know is this is here today in some form. So I just go a year in the future, 2 years in the future. This stuff is going to be seamless and professional and indistinguishable from what we experience when we're talking to each other today. What are the implications of that? I don't know. That real-time translation that he just showed is insane. He starts talking in English, and in real time, it lowers his voice, has him start speaking in Chinese, and resyncs his lips to the new words in real time. It's insane. It's insanity. It's insanity. It's insanity, I tell you. All right, let me go back. I know Brandon showed me a Gemini Live thing. Do I want to do that now?
Hi, my name is Eugene, and
now let me just pause for a second. Let me go back to see if anyone has questions, thoughts, because we're in sort of deep philosophical waters here. Which, this whole fucking thing. I don't know if you're still here. I think it might have been DeSchool or whatever the hell your name is. That asked, what's the most important thing I learned in the past 30 days? It's that we're not ready. It's that we're not ready. So I feel like we're in deep waters here. So we should keep it up. All right. I need to jump out, guys. Have a great weekend. Steve-O, thanks, man. Thanks as always for hanging out. Appreciate you. We've got, I don't know if you knew this, but the AI Learning Lab is an international affair. We got people from all over the world. So welcome. Even people from Canada. We let Canadians in here, just like they're Americans, because Joker, am I late? No, you're right on time. It would be awesome to run a webinar worldwide. Everyone could log into the version in their own language. Yeah, exactly. The accessibility that AI is going to provide for people who can't speak, for people who don't speak the same languages, for people, imagine, carry this thing out 5 years. Imagine a translation service that's not translating languages, but it's translating domain expertise or intellectual differences. So you could have a PhD level super genius talking to an out of work actor like me. And we could be having a conversation, and in real time, it's dumbing down the PhD speak so I can understand it, and it's leveling up the, I don't know, acting humanity bullshit I'm talking about to the way he can do it. Like, that kind of translation is very well within reach within 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Someone's got to create that program, but like the technology is there to be able to do that. That was HeyGen, by the way. Wait, not this one Kyle just showcased. What was HeyGen? But is the Chinese sentence structure true to form? When I translated English to Mandarin, a friend told me the Mandarin sentence structure was not correct. It was a word-for-word translation. Yeah, listen, I don't know. Again, I am less interested right now in, are these things right today? No, these things are janky pieces of shit. We talk about this all the time on this channel. Embrace the jank. Just because these things don't do perfect translations, just because they don't sync everything up correctly, just because you got pretzel hands on your images, keep playing. Keep exploring with what these tools are, because assume 2 years from now, it's not going to be like that. If you can get your head around what these tools make possible today and where the boundaries are, when the new stuff shows up, you're going to know exactly what to do with it. That's the fucking trick. Be in the conversation. That's what these lives are about. YouTube. I'm a part of a book club in She Leads AI. We are reading The Empire of AI, where it discusses the stuff that can go wrong. I wonder when anyone can find the stuff that can go wrong before others can. I don't know. I mean, I heard a stat today. This was some TikTok channel. Oh, it was Nate B. Jones. Nate B. Jones today said the numbers of people using generative AI right now is north of 1 billion. There are 1 billion people. I think Openai right now has 700 million active users. 700 million. And then if you take the other platforms, there's more than 1 billion people using generative AI. That's a pretty big test group, right? So in those billion, they're going to find the shit that breaks. So, but we're going to, like, everything's changing too fast. Like we're going to find something that breaks today. We're going to fix it. And then some new technology is going to come along and that's going to break something else. It's just going to keep breaking things. Companies are going to have to adapt. Humans are going to have to adapt. We're going to have to, the more rigid you are right now, the tougher this game's going to be. The more adaptable you are right now, the easier this game's going to be. But it is not going to be easy for anyone, because constant adaptation. Like, imagine if you think about our evolution, we evolve traits over thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of years. Imagine an environment where you just start to understand how the world works and it completely changes. And then a month later, it completely changes again. And then a month later, it completely changes again. That's what we're entering right now. We're in no way prepared. We are not evolutionarily prepared for that level of adaptation. So if you're a super rigid person that thrives on predictability, start practicing not that. If you're a person who's really into dynamic living and you love adapting, well, get ready because it's coming faster than even you're prepared for, I think. Ah, yes. Rant squirrel. What did I miss? Or what did I not finish?
So hey Kyle. So I've got a another TikTok post here queued up. But it's gonna send you down a rabbit hole, I feel like. So my question for you that I was starting to type into the sticky note is, do we want to watch the Gemini video first or later?
No, I don't want to do it now because it's I don't want to interrupt where this conversation is because I'm digging where this conversation is. So if the TikTok thing's in the neighborhood of this conversation, I want to go there.
Well, it's not, but it's a topic near and dear to your heart. So we've pinned it for your.
Where's it pinned? Kyle Wrangling 101. Yeah, good luck. Any thoughts on these get rich quick using AI courses I keep seeing in social media? Yes, many thoughts. You can make money with ChatGPT. Those fucking courses? Those courses are so annoying and so fucking wrong that I made a gold button mocking them. You can make money with ChatGPT. And where did I get that voice? From those assholes. You can make money with ChatGPT. Fucking assholes. Here's the deal. You want to know how to make money with ChatGPT? I'll give you the secret. The secret to making money with ChatGPT, and this is in every one of those courses, is the exact same way you make money with Photoshop, and the exact same way you make money with Microsoft Word, and the exact same way you make money with a fucking shovel. You don't make money with ChatGPT. You don't. You don't make money with a shovel. You make money because someone needs a hole. And you use your shovel to dig it in a way that's better than the other people digging holes. You make money by solving people's problems. Every one of those fucking courses, you can make money with ChatGPT, is just some sort of bullshit process that says identify a problem, learn the tools well enough to solve that problem, and go sell that shit. The tool that you use to solve the problem is swappable with every other fucking tool. Now, is ChatGPT more powerful and more efficient and an amplifier and, more magical than Photoshop? Sure. But it's the exact same thing. Anyway, rant done. You can make money with ChatGPT. You can make money with ChatGPT. Motherfuckers. Fucking sleazy people. And you want to know why I resent them so much? Because I don't have the balls to do that. You put together a slick little thing. Yeah, money with ChatGPT. If you just give me $4.99.99, I'll take that. And they can sleep at night. I can't. And I'm jealous of it. So yeah, fuck them. Anyway. With a big pink bow. Exactly. This is every one of those courses. Hey, did you know there's a new thing out called ChatGPT? Do you know how to make money with ChatGPT? Just give me money and I'll tell you how to make money with ChatGPT. Like, don't they? I don't think you can wash that slime off. Fucking makes me disgusting. I don't know if any of them are making money, but they're making more money than I am. All right. He'll give you the secret if he gets 10,000 likes. Plus, he'll do it in a mankini. Exactly. All right. Where's the TikTok video you wanted me to show? It's a DM where? On X. Really? I don't see it.
Okay, so just to set the stage, this is Gemini. If you go to Gemini, the Google Gemini app, It's their latest post from 6 hours ago. This is a demo that we saw at Google I/O. That's it.
Oh, this one?
And this is demoing the new Gemini Live, where you can talk with Gemini in voice mode and share your video live at the same time.
Yeah, so this is similar to the ChatGPT one. Is it markedly different than the ChatGPT one, or is it in the same neighborhood?
I like it better, and you'll see why in this demo if you listen.
All right, cool.
The sound.
All right, and actually, you know what, Brandon, I like this because this also starts to get into this place where the boundary between sort of human and machine gets weird and blurry. So let's watch this. Am I sharing my audio right now? What the hell just happened? Yes.
That's a pretty nice convertible.
I think you might have mistaken the garbage truck for a convertible. Is there anything else I can help you with?
What's this skinny building doing in my neighborhood?
It's a street light, not a building.
Why are these palm trees so short? I'm worried about them.
They're not short. They're actually pretty tall.
Sick convertible.
Garbage truck again. Anything else?
Why do people keep delivering packages to my lawn?
It's not a package. It's a utility box.
Why is this person following me wherever I walk?
No one's following you. That's just your shadow.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, this is another really good example of we're going to get very dependent on these on these devices, on these models, on these relationships. Right? Imagine having a tool like this, and so right now you're having to hold a phone. I think that the device that Johnny Ives and Sam Altman are baking up is probably some sort of wearable pendant. I don't know how it's different than the Humane pin, which was a big flop. But whether it's Meta glasses with cameras in them, or whether it's your phone, or whether it's something that you wear, you're going to have a companion. So just like, there are many of us on this call that are old enough to remember that if you wanted to go somewhere, you would buy 3 different maps. You would buy the map for the state of Pennsylvania. Then you would buy the map for the Midwest from, Ohio to Minnesota. And then you would buy the map for the Dakotas to Colorado, right? And if you wanted to go across the country, you would open up these maps and you would highlight the route you're going to take. And then people would actually have to pay attention to shit. Well, that doesn't exist anymore. Young people don't even know what the fuck that is. Yeah, AAA triptych. Exactly. And now you just punch in an address on Google and it just says, turn left here, turn right there. And it just tells you. And we just take that for granted. And now we're going to have these things that are just going to be like, you're going to be out walking your dog. And this thing will go like, that person across the street is suspicious. They've been there 3 days in a row and I've never seen them before. Right? Like shit like that's going to start happening. Like this thing was kind of, the woman was purposefully trying to fuck with her and she was correcting her. No, that's a garbage truck. No, those trees look tall. Combine that with memory. Combine that with this voice that's so human, it's indistinguishable. Someone who's not sophisticated with technology, this is a very intuitive interface. You just point it at shit and it just does stuff for you. Now, right now, you got to launch the app. You got to hold the phone up. But, imagine you've got glasses that are just doing this all the time. And, they're doing bone conduction audio. Just kind of guiding your life. It seems weird now, but it ain't going to be. TikTok pin. Yeah, it kind of sounded annoyed. I was thinking that, think about this from a creative standpoint. I love, nasty, cynical comics, right? I love Tom Segura, and I like Doug Stanhope, and I I like these people that are really intelligent and just fucking, don't let you off the hook. Other people hate that. They want Jim Gaffigan, right? Other people don't want fucking comedy. They want a tour guide. Just tell me the facts. Just tell me how to get there. We're gonna be able to choose the different personalities that we interact with. And so I could probably, at some point, if he licenses his likeness, I could probably have Tom Segura be my dude, right? Where I'm out going, hey, nice convertible. He's like, listen, I have Bill Burr. Bill Burr is my thing. Hey, you fucking moron. What are you fucking doing? That's a fucking garbage truck. You fucking moron. That would make me infinitely happy, right? And someone else may choose someone that's just positive and supportive all the time. And where does it cross the boundary to being sentient? That thing was pretty fucking sentient. I mean, let's watch it again. Like, is this thing sentient? Is it?
That's a pretty nice convertible.
I think you might have mistaken the garbage truck for a convertible. Is there anything else I can help you with?
What's this skinny building doing in my neighborhood?
It's a street light, not a building.
It's a street light, not a building, you stupid twit. I mean, the distance between someone perceiving that as sentient and not is, pretty fucking close. If this thing now also remembers every conversation we've ever had and remembers everything it's looked at and can pattern match and can support us, how's that different than a really good assistant? I don't know that it is. Technically, it's very different. It's calculator. But perception-wise, it's what it is. Anyway. Yeah, so exciting news. There's a couple of things I want to talk about. One is I love doing these lives, and these lives are the way that I stay connected with AI. I stay connected with this community. They're fun. They're irreverent. I cuss a little bit. I'm a little saucy. I make stupid voices. I make stupid jokes. There's another side of me that I take this knowledge and I apply it to businesses that I work with, and I apply it to Storyvine, and I apply it to things that I do in the world. That's a very different experience than what this is. So one thing I want to talk about is if you're looking for, or if you know people that are looking for someone that can take the long view of something that's rooted in understanding actually what's happening with AI, let me know. I'm happy to talk to people. It's not always this goofy, sort of pink bow wearing town fool that I play here. Like, there's a very specific reason that I behave this way here. I think it's important that everyone understands that this stuff is accessible to everyone. And no matter how stupid you feel, the fact that you're paying attention to it at all, you're way ahead of everyone else. So that's the purpose of this. But there's a different level that I do when I'm doing business kind of stuff. That same philosophy. So the AI Salon, if you could pop up the URL for the AI Salon, Brandon. If you go to the salon.ai and you say, join our community, the AI Salon is this remarkable community of AI optimists and creators and filmmakers and entrepreneurs and just individuals trying to figure this stuff out that are generous and support one another and do this. And kind of the whole premise of the salon is that everyone's welcome. The core criteria for the AI Salon is be curious about AI. You might be scared about it. You might be pissed off about it. You might feel like you're just completely out of the loop with it. But if you're curious about it, this is a community for you. this weekend, starting Sunday on June 1st, we're launching what we're calling the AI Salon Mastermind, which is a subscription, a paid level for people that want to step up their game. And so within it, you'll have access to the clubs and hubs that are part of the salon, and you'll have access to a smaller, more committed group of people that are sort of taking their AI to the next level. So just like there's a version of me that is this show, that's this irreverent, fun, lighthearted thing. There's also this more serious, like, you want to transform your fucking business? I can help you do that. That's what we're doing with the salon. So that launches on Sunday. So there'll be a page there that says how you join it. And I'm super excited about it. And people are excited about it, right? People within the community, because what's happened is the community's been around for 2.5 years. And like any community, you've got lurkers and you've got people that check in occasionally. And then you've got the explicit leaders of the community, right? People that step up and say, I'm going to volunteer and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And then you've got the implicit leaders of the community. These are people that show up a lot and they contribute a lot and they are generous and they're welcoming and they're proactive. The AI Mastermind is an ability for those people to get together and really fucking take it to the next level. So I'm super excited about it. I hope you join. If you're not part of the AI Salon, like, the AI Salon is going to be free forever. If you want to step your shit up, join the AI Mastermind, right? If you think that what I do here is worthwhile contributing in the world, then let me know, because I do this for businesses as well on a very different level. It's a very different experience. All right. So yeah, Tom Nodler, count me in. Yeah, damn it. Oh, and by the way, if you're an irregular, and I know a lot of people here are, we've got 65 people in TikTok, 37 people over on the YouTube and the X's and the LinkedIn's, wherever the hell you are over there. If you don't know the term irregular, well, I know you know the word irregular, but there is a group of people who, for reasons I cannot figure it out, show up to these lives night after night after night after night. And I appropriately, very early on, declared, you guys are a bunch of weirdos. I think that was appropriate. I think that was an appropriate label. And Serena, Emilio's wife, jumped immediately. The immediate response from Serena was, we're not weird, we're irregular, which just cracked me the fuck up. It is the best name. We tend to be some Gen Xers and a couple of even boomers in here. So I think irregular plays on multiple levels. I'll bring the Malox. Oh my God. I'll bring the Metamucil. I'll bring the Malox. I got the nachos. The Irregulars are a remarkable community of people that, we have fun in here. But like I said before, where, I'm a certain me here, there's a different version of me that shows up for businesses. The Irregulars are a fun bunch. I would argue that the Irregulars, the people that come to this show on a regular basis, are probably some of the most tapped in, smart, educated about generative AI people that really understand what these tools make possible and what the future of work might look like in the world. Because they're in this fucking conversation night after night after night. So Vicky tonight, she sent me a DM on Mighty Networks, and we're getting ready to launch the Mastermind, and she's like, hey, I had an idea. What about an Irregulars badge? So if you're an irregular and you know who you are, Vicky, how are we going to have them? I know Vicky's like, Kyle, could you get to the fucking point, please? The badges, please. So we're creating Irregulars badges for Mighty Networks. So if you're an irregular, how should they reach out to you, Vicky? Should they comment in the Irregulars channel? Read the screen. Which screen? Can talk. Oh, can I talk? Yeah. Bring Vicky up. Vicky. Wait. No, don't reach out to me. Wait. Don't reach out to Vicky. Don't reach out to Vicky. YouTube pin. Oh, YouTube pin. Vicky. Okay. If you're already an irregular, leave and rejoin. Okay. If you're already an irregular, leave and rejoin the space, and then you'll get your badge. Okay. Beautiful. All right. So irregulars, we get little badges in the Mighty Networks. And I haven't seen it yet, but, you know, I hope there's a turtle on it. We talked about a turtle. So I'm guessing there's a turtle. You'll get a confetti shower too. That's awesome. Great. YouTube pin. All right. See YouTube for irregular badge info in the salon. See YouTube. Okay. Got it. Yeah. Perfect. You have one, Kyle. Do I? Oh, that's awesome. How do I find my badge? Do I go to my name? Tabs. Oh, tabs. Yeah, tabs. Yeah. 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 Oh, badges. It's a turtle. Look. It's the best. AI Learning Lab Irregular with the little turtle. Come on. Are you kidding me? Jim Ross, it starts with a badge. It ends with an irregular tattoo. So first of all, what you should do, you should acknowledge Vicky. You should thank Vicky. So how do you do that in here? You click on someone's account. So if I go Vicky, and I find her, and then can I shout her out from in here? Recognize. Okay. So there's Vicky, right? So here's how you do this. You go find Vicky. You click on her thing. Then you click recognize. And these are the 5 values of the AI Salon, which if you don't know, if you haven't been to the AI Salon, our values are fucking cool. So these values came out of how people in the salon behave. And so we just basically named it. They're curious, they're playful, they're empathetic, they're generous, and they're brave. They just put stuff out there. So I am going to say Vicky is incredible! Exclamation point. I'm going to say she's curious. She's playful. Oh, I can only do one. Okay, which one? I'm going to go generous. She's been putting in a ton of time. I'm going to go generous. She's empathetic. She's playful. She's all of these. But we're going to give her we're going to give her generosity. All right? Beautiful. So go recognize Vicky because she works her ass off for this community. And now there's irregular badges. Uh-oh. Leah's wait list for the mastermind is pinned to the screen. Where? Oh, beautiful. Yeah, if you go, let's see. Can I get there from here? No, I can't. No. Perfect. Hang on. So if you want to sign up for the wait list, I mean, this thing goes live Sunday, but if you want to go live for the wait list, go to that URL on screen, and that'll take you to a wait list. It'll give you pricing information. By the way, we're doing this for all of 2025. The mastermind level of the salon is $19.99. It's $20. It's going to go up in 2026. But we wanted to do founding members because, like, there's 3,000 people within the community. We wanted to make it as easy as possible for people that want to kind of step into this new level and kind of up their game. We wanted to make it as easy as possible. So there's the pricing, there's the info. All right. So if you're interested, go sign up there. And then Sunday, the shit goes live, baby. We'll do it live. All right. Fantastic people. So let's see. $20 per month. Yes. Oh, and okay, there you go. Yep, $20 a month. Which I think is a screaming deal, because if you think about the club area of the salon, like that, those whole areas are effectively, multiple masterminds. And we're going to start doing things like we're going to be doing more events within the AI salon. Leah and I are going to host events. Club members are going to host events, things like that. And we're going to take a lot of the educational materials, formalize that. This is going to allow us to do, is kind of take the salon to the next level, and make it more valuable, by people sort of stepping up to kind of a different level of commitment, which is super cool. Lock in that right now for a lifetime. That's the other thing. If you join as a founding member of the salon of the Salon Mastermind, you get that rate for lifetime, so long as you don't let your subscription lapse. So there you have it. All right. Fantastic. Badges. We do need some stinking badges. Exactly. Uh-oh, my computer's dinging. I think people are out there recognizing Vicky for her awesome contributions to the salon, which is fucking cool. Beautiful. All right. Thank you all. Oh, good. Yeah. Oh, yeah. TikTok is giving some kudos to the Vicky. Vicky works her ass off for this community. And I know there's a bunch of you mod over here on TikTok, which is the lost art of modding on TikTok. So thank you to all of you that do that. And for, frankly, everyone that shows up for this thing night after night. Weekend homework. Boy, I don't know what to say for this weekend. I feel like a lot of the stuff that we talked about tonight, I'll give you some homework for the weekend. I think some homework for the weekend is for you to really think about if you could do anything, if skills and education and access were suddenly not barriers for you, what would you do? Is there something that you've always wanted to do, but you tell yourself, yeah, but I can't. I'm not talented enough. I'm not educated. I don't have a degree. All those limitations are about to be wiped off the planet. And so if you were given the gift of you could do anything, but I can't raise money for a company. Well, what if you had the equivalent of 1,000 PhD level employees that would do anything you wanted them to do? Oh, I don't know. Think about that. I think that's the homework this weekend, is really think about, make it an introspective weekend. Imagine that little, demo that we showed of Gemini Live, where the person's walking down the street and the woman's correcting her. Imagine if you had someone at your side all the time that could just help you do all the shit you want to do. What is increasingly uninteresting to me is which tool to use. What is increasingly interesting to me is, what do you choose to do? If you were given kind of insane levels of resources and insane levels of skill and insane levels of knowledge, how would you apply it? And if you haven't thought about that before, do that this weekend. All right. Next Tuesday, from 5 to 7 Mountain Time. If you go to the AI Salon, go to the events calendar and RSVP right now. Go do it right now. Go to the events calendar and RSVP for next Tuesday's meeting. We've got Danny Kravitz, who teaches at Columbia University in Chicago. He teaches creativity, he teaches screenwriting, and he's going to come talk about creativity and self-expression and the importance of it and how you do it and how you do it well and how you do it with AI. I'm really excited to have Danny here. Brandon introduced me to Danny, and our conversations are always like a mind meld where we have very similar kinds of ways of thinking. All right. All right. Is the mastermind going live on YouTube or directly on the salon? The mastermind is really just a kind of a private area of the salon where people can sort of build deeper relationships. Within that area, we're likely going to be doing live sessions and events and things like that that'll be exclusive to that area. So the mastermind isn't a show. It's an access area within the community. It's sort of a higher, a level of commitment higher. Like part of the reason that we wanted to do this is that there are a lot of people within the salon that are already leveling up, and there's not necessarily a place for them to go where they can really connect and sort of start collaborating together. And, you know, in a much noisier environment, there's a lot of distraction. And so this is just a more focused area of the salon. So that's what it's about. All right. TikTok pin. The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world. Exactly. So let's go take over the world. Listen, thank you for everything you do. Thanks for showing up for this thing. I really appreciate it. Friday night date night's where it's at. I'll finish up my watered down tequila here. How can I get there? It'll just be there Sunday. And if you can pin that comment again for Mr. IT for the sign up form, there's the wait list for the mastermind. So go there and you can sign up for it to show interest. What would you do, Kyle? If what? What would I do if what? All right. So your weekend homework is
no. They're asking you what you would do. They're asking you to answer your question for the weekend homework.
Oh.
Now, what would you do? You know, other than hang out with us for 10 hours a week.
Well, I mean, listen, I'm doing part of what I would do, right? I think for me, the thing I would do if I could do anything is I would get much better at having a strategic framing for all this energy I put into this work. What I did 2.5 years ago, or 2 years ago in April, when I started doing these lives, is I made a commitment to show up. And I've showed up, right? And it's made a difference for me. It's made a difference for the Irregulars. It's made a difference for a lot of people that have kind of passed through these lives. But there wasn't much beyond that. I didn't really think about, well, what impact do I want to have? How do I want to change people's lives? We've got, 53 people in here. We had 65 earlier. The reason we don't have 1,000 people in here tonight or 10,000 people in here tonight, I think, is that I didn't really apply any strategic direction to this energy, right? I wasn't clear about what do I want to accomplish. And so I think what I would do if I could do anything is I would take those areas that I'm weak. Self-promotion. I'm really shitty at it. I'm self-conscious about it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to seem like I'm salesy and sleazy to the detriment of myself. So I think I'd get better at that. I think I'd get better at, okay, we've got a community of people that show up here night after night after night. Like, what are we doing for them? How are we allowing them to level up? What are we, like if I could sort of take this thing to the next level, the rising boat, the rising tide raises all boats, right? Like that's missing right now from my energy output is an intentionality to it. And so I think that's what I would do, because I love doing this. I love being in this conversation. I love inspiring people. I love being able to articulate what the fuck is going on and what the fuck is coming to the best of any of our ability. And yet it's a little nebulous and soft and flaky and weird. And so I would tighten that shit up and, improve things for everyone. So I think that's what I would do. And then on top of that, do things like produce my musical and, write some more books and do some more shows and do keynote speaking and do a lot more. Like, I'm really serious when I talk about, there's sort of the version of me that here, and there's the version of me that shows up for business. Like, I want to do more business impact stuff. So if you know people that need to talk to someone, I don't know if you know this, if you go to my TikTok profile, I've got a link there where I've got 4 hours dedicated every Saturday where people can spend an hour with me personally, either as a small team or as an individual. That's a very different experience than this is. Like, I don't think a lot of people know about that. Why? Because I don't talk about it. And I want to do that for businesses too. So if you know people, introduce me. All right. TikTok is loving me in the comments. Oh, thank you very much. Camcat, can you inspire me, Kyle? You guys all inspire me, man. It really is. You totally rock, dude. Thank you. Yeah. I love the same, Kyle. I'd like to work in this, but I need to work morning, noon, and night. Yeah, no, I get it. I totally get it. Thank you for the kind words. Yeah. So, all right. Beautiful. Have a fantastic weekend. Spend this weekend thinking about the difference you want to make in the world. And it doesn't have to be fucking huge, right? It doesn't have to be solve world hunger, cure this disease. It could be like, I want to get my friends, educated about AI. It could be like, I want to start a new business, or I want to help people start businesses. Like, just think about the thing that you're passionate about. I would also encourage you to think deeply about what is the shit that you've told yourself you can't do for whatever reason. Oh, I can't do that. I'm not good at music. Oh, I can't do that. I'm not talented. Oh, I can't do that. I didn't go to the right school. I would say swim around in, and maybe even have a conversation with ChatGPT Advanced Voice. I want you to help me discover what I would do, my why, my passion. And have it probe you about the things that you've shut down in yourself. And maybe come back Monday with a sense of that. Because I think that as you have that, you'll look at AI in a very different way. If AI is a runway to take off in that vision, and AI is the runway, it's a very different thing than just, which tool do I use? How do I? You can make money with ChatGPT. Right? That's a stupid fucking question. The money will come if you do the other thing. And you do it in a focused and strategic way, which I'm not right now, right? That's my work. All right. Vicky's computer is dinging because everyone keep acknowledging her, which is great. All right. Rick McCauley, here's to the crazy ones, the ones that don't know they can't change the world, and they're the ones who do. You're a crazy one. Thank you, Rick. I appreciate that. Likewise, right back at you, buddy. Okay, cool. Beautiful. Yes, sir.
Hey, Kyle. One last thing before we leave, because we're feeling philosophical on a Friday night, and you said something a little while back. You said you don't have to change the world, and it reminded me of a quote that if you help one person, you're not changing the world, but for that one person, you change their world.
Yeah,
And
that's great.
so I want to share, and I butchered the heck out of that quote, but it's okay.
We're imperfect here. We're janky. We embrace the jank.
I wanted to share on the last day of school. We have a bus driver for my daughter. She's going into 2nd grade now, and she has had the same bus driver every day. He has not missed a day, and we really wanted to recognize him. We gave him a gift, but we wanted to do something a little bit more personal. And so we took a picture of him like waving to her, and I took it into ChatGPT, and I converted it into a where are we? What's the wrong tab? Converted into a coloring page. And had my daughter color it, and we presented that to him on the last day of school, a picture of him driving the bus.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
And I'll tell you, that guy's probably driven a bus for a while. I've never seen a bus driver get misty-eyed. He paused. There was a moment where he just paused, and like the recognition, like kind of emotion washed over him. You could see it. And it's like, so when people tell us that ChatGPT can't be creative, like, well, it can, but what we do with it and what we do with that output and injecting the humanity back into that output, I think is where the intersection of all of this lies. So just wanted to share that.
It's the perfect way to end it, Brandon. I mean, what you're talking about, the idea is everything, right? Your imagination, your intent to say, hey, it would be nice if we could get him a box of chocolates, right? And then you're like, no, could we do something more? And because you know these tools, you were able to do this with this. That's absolutely remarkable, right? And we can just do this now. But it's like, it's the idea that's the thing. So this is the perfect example to end on. It's awesome. It's incredible. It's like, it's very moving. Look at that picture. It's amazing. Yeah, he must have been misty-eyed. You know, that's fucking hanging up proudly in his house right now, too, you know? Amazing.
Yep.
Beautiful. Awesome. Awesome. All right, everyone. You know, who's a bus driver whose life you can change? Hey, you want to know something actually really important about what Brandon did? I guarantee you that bus driver didn't ask, oh, did you make this with ChatGPT? It's irrelevant what tool was used. Maybe Brandon's an illustrator and he hand drew that. Maybe he knows, maybe he hired someone to draw that. Maybe he used ChatGPT. The tool is 100% irrelevant. The only thing relevant there is the intent and the execution, which were both flawless. So next time someone says to you, it's not just, you know, can AI be creative? Like what's the big deal with AI? That's the big deal with AI. What Brandon just did right there. I want to do something special for this guy. Oh, I have an idea. Bang, it's executed. That's the magic of AI. Damn it. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right. Have a fantastic weekend. Yeah, Rick McCulley. I'm getting misty just hearing about it. Exactly. Because the idea is about humanity and about connecting with another person. This is your homework for the weekend. How do you want to impact people? Who do you want to impact and how? Just think about that. Ignore the tools. Ignore your capabilities. Ignore your talents. Who do you want to impact and how? Come back Monday with some clarity on that, and we'll have some fucking fun. All right? Love it. Friday night, date night, out. I hope you all had fun tonight. I had a blast. Thanks for the great questions. Thanks for the great engagement. All right. Peace out.